government calls a wicked super patriot, joining us via video Skype in the second hour of this Tuesday, the 13th day of September 2011 transmission. Alfred Adask is joining us in the second hour. We're going to have open phones in the first and third hour, and also when Alfred joins us coming up. You know, what's happening here is more and more, myself, the listeners, all of us, even though we're awake, we're just becoming acclimated and conditioned. 10 years ago, if something like Fast and Furious happened and we caught the government, I would be much more upset about it on air, and I'd probably be talking about it ad nauseum. But now, things of the magnitude of Fast and Furious, with the government shipping guns into Illinois, Indiana, Florida, California, Texas, to drug gangs to kill their competition, shipping guns into Honduras, into Mexico to kill their competition and to destabilize those areas and then demonize the Second Amendment, that would be a bigger issue. There have been articles in the Chicago Tribune, articles in the El Paso Times in the last month. Of course, we had articles 3 months ago. Actually broke it at Infowars.com. Paul Watson did, because a listener sent us, hey, have you seen these federal filings where the federal government is admitting that the CIA was allowing cocaine to be shipped into the United States by the Sinaloa drug gang, one of the biggest cartels on the border, in exchange for going after their competition and laundering their money through certain U.S. banks? And it just comes out in mainstream news, and we mention it, we talk about it, then we move on. We move on. It has the desired psychological warfare effect on us. In a way, I'm weak-minded. Compared to a lot of people, we're strong, but we're still very weak. We're all human. The globalists understand what makes us tick and how to punch those buttons. They have ABC News, BBC, Fox News, Reuters video. I mean, I could play more than 20 different newscasts here, and I have played most of them, where they go, yeah, our troops grow the opium, give them the fertilizer, and they load it on trucks, and it just disappears. It's for America. If you're not for growing the opium, you're with Al-Qaeda. They just do this stuff out in the open now. And so instead of just denying this stuff like they do 15 years ago, now they just go, yeah, we're doing it. Now let's move on. Hey, you're getting all the bombers into the U.S. and onto the airplanes and onto Fort Hood, and the government's been caught running all these operations. And you're putting Al-Qaeda into Libya. And they go, so what? We're taking your rights because of Al-Qaeda. I've got more news on that. It's in, Reuters, that, yeah, okay, Al-Qaeda's taken over Libya, and NATO warns they have to deal with them now. If you put Al-Qaeda in to knock out Gaddafi, and then you say, oh, my gosh, now we got to have a war with Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda's got Libya. That's in Reuters today. I mean, the only reason the establishment is doing this is because they know the general public. I was listening to Bloomberg Radio this morning, just about an hour ago, driving into the office, and I heard the host say, oh, I don't think the implosion of Europe's going to hurt the U.S. too much. Most Americans don't have a passport, and most of those people can't even find Europe on a map. And all the hosts were cackling and laughing. Ah, Americans are so stupid. It's so funny. It was like Woody Woodpecker. I mean, it's real funny that the government ships the smack and the cocaine in here, the heroin, all of it, and then your kids use it and they put you in their prisons, owned and run by the drug cartels. Oh, yeah. Do a study of it. I've looked it up. Most of the big private bank-run private prisons are narcotics funded. I mean, they put you in a prison owned by the drug kingpins. Can you believe 2011 is getting long in the tooth? And I'll be sitting here, and it'll feel like 5 minutes from now going, we're approaching December 2012, when the government and the media and so many other institutions have been joining in on the fear-mongering that the world is going to end. I am not one of those voices, but you watch. In 2013, If I'm still here, that certainly is in question. But I believe the world will still be here, but none of us know if we'll individually be here. That's certainly in the cards, that any of us could die in a car wreck, you name it, struck by a bolt of lightning, whatever the case may be. That after the 2012 thing doesn't happen, that there will be national media that will attack yours truly and say that I said 2012 would be the end of the world. You watch. And people will edit together what I've said over the years to make it sound like that. I know that because it's been done before. All right, it is Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, and we have Super Patriot demonized by 60 Minutes and others, the always informative and alternative to tyranny, Alfred Adask. He will be joining us coming up in T-minus 51 minutes from now. These are the type of news headlines I have today. It's been confirmed that Merck paid off the California legislature to pass an attempted move to make Gardasil mandatory. That itself is a hoax. It's not mandatory. They just say it is. But Business Wire has the headline, SaneVax, Inc. reports human papillomavirus, HPV, contamination in Gardasil to FDA request public safety investigation. And I guess they mean that the RNA of the virus has gotten into the DNA. So we're going to be going over this report, and I want to get Mike Adams' take on this as well. But we've got some important Gardasil news coming up, because now they're trying to run their regular hoax that it's the law, all girls in America have to take it, and it's the law that all boys have to take it, and it's the law that all Mexican girls have to take it. There is no law in Mexico. You've got to take vaccines. I've looked it up. And there's no law in the United States you have to take vaccine. But they keep hammering that lie. Every August before school starts, you can tune into national radio, national TV, local radio. It's in all the newscasts, a little PR announcement. Most of it's paid. That's a big dirty secret in talk radio. A lot of local news is actually paid product placement, propaganda placement. That it's the law. You've got to be vaccinated for school. Go to your local clinic. They're having a mass vaccination today at Zilker Park. I remember hearing that a month ago. Or at these area sports stadiums. It's the law. Don't get arrested. A total criminal hoax. And if you'll just go check it out for yourself and discover that I'm not lying to you, and there's no law you have to take a vaccine, and go into the school and let the school nurse lie to you first and say, it is the law, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Brown, Mr. whatever the case is. Let them lie to you and then say, A, you've got a waiver you've got to give me by law in that filing cabinet, and B, there is no law. I've got to even fill that out. You just try to trick me if I wake up to another level of lies and get me to induce myself into a contract filed with the health department saying basically I'm a bad parent and there's a list of unvaccinated people. It is your policy under the state health department that it's the policy that government would like you to have a shot. But what you do is, if I'm ignorant, you will kick my child out of school under policy, then invoke truancy laws and try to take my child from me. And the hardcore criminal cult member behind that desk, the principal or that nurse, you will have that hardcore vicious criminal caught. And you will have them in your sights, and you will know how evil they are. And you will experience the culture of evil. Let me tell you how evil works. They find jellyfish creatures who will follow whatever orders they're given, and that's how tyranny works. That's how cops arrest people for things that aren't against the law every day in this country. That's how judges instruct juries to convict people of things that aren't illegal and put it under some other law. That's how tyranny takes over a society. Now, I have a video clip I'm going to play later when Alfred Adask is on with us of a man peacefully on the street outside of the Ground Zero events. They had streets shut down, and a 9/11 truther got through. And I've seen countless reports from our sources, and more videos are surfacing, of people actually being arrested and then beat up. I covered it on the nightly news last night. This individual, I confirmed, was not roughed up. It was others that were arrested who were roughed up, and we're working on getting in contact with them. But Luke witnessed people being arrested for simply wearing 9/11 shirts and speaking out. He witnessed people being turned back for investigating 9/11 or 9/11's an inside job or We Are Change shirts, not from Ground Zero itself, but from upwards of 10 blocks away. They had checkpoints everywhere. They shut the city down to one lane of traffic on all the major streets to keep people out so there couldn't be 9/11 truthers converging and killing the hoax there. They wouldn't allow the firefighters, the police, the medical workers who survived, and many of which were injured, many of which are in wheelchairs, into the event. Because in past years, and we've shown the video, survivors and others will speak out and say, it's an inside job, Giuliani. You know it is. It's never made it on national TV, but it's made it when they're going up and down into the pit there in the bleacher seating, and the system is very, very scared. There have been other 9/11 events in the lead-up last week and in other cities where people did jump on stage and say 9/11's an inside job. So the system is desperate. They can't have their hoax fully implode because they need to stage more now. And they're moving to their next phase to blame it on Tea Party, conservatives, libertarians, and gun owners. They're now rolling out the PR, just like I saw a PR rollout on bin Laden. And I said they're going to blow up the World Trade Center and blame it on bin Laden. I mean, I said that a year before. I said it 6 months before, but we have the tape of me saying it 2 months before when I said, call the White House. Don't let them blow up the World Trade Center and blame it on Osama bin Laden, their CIA asset. Because I saw the preconditioning, the rollout. There is now a total and complete rollout taking place as we speak to blame it on domestic groups. And so I am begging all of you out there to realize that this is make it or break it to get this information out. But I've now seen several videos. In fact, I forgot to give them to the crew. News got them, or it's now rolled off the front page of Infowars.com. It's now in the featured news archive there on Infowars.com. Several of those videos. But the first one is really crisp, clean video. And I'd like to interview the person who was arrested. And it's got him just saying, we need to investigate this. It was a crime scene. I've got flyers here. And there's other street people talking. That's fine. A guy runs up and screams, says, you're not wanted here. And so the police then arrest him, drag him off, put him in handcuffs, and put him in the car. And I've got incredible reports, and I'm told the video is being uploaded, that other people were arrested as well, and some of them, you know, slammed into the cars, roughed up by police. Wouldn't be the first time I've been roughed up by New York police. And, of course, I've also been roughed up by the Austin jail guards for no reason when I was arrested for demonstrating. It's just part of the tyranny. Cowardly people get a job so they can slam your head into a wall and feel powerful. Only the ultimate coward would want to rough somebody up who had done nothing wrong except exercise the First Amendment and slam your head into things. Now, I could see if you arrested somebody who had 3 dead kids in a trunk in their house, you'd want to beat the pulp out of them. But you wouldn't do that because you want to make sure they got a nice, fair trial before they got the lethal injection. But cops getting off on beating up peaceful demonstrators, it's wrong. It is the essence of evil, the essence of tyranny, the essence of bullying, the essence of anti-freedom, the anti-America. So that's coming up with Alfred Adask as well. But I tell you, when I first saw this footage yesterday, Luke had told me about it. And I thought, on and off air, he told me a few stories. And then I thought when we saw this video posted that was the case he was talking about. But no, there's a whole bunch of these. And all over the city. No, you're wearing a 9/11 shirt, go back. But this isn't a controlled area. I'm trying to get into Lower Manhattan. No. And see, next, oh, it's on your file you're a 9/11 truther. You can't get on an airplane. You can't get a job. The essence of tyranny, again, is about labeling people and restricting their rights. And what has Rahm Emanuel and others said? And now we've got evidence it's begun by stealth.